For hypermobile, you might struggle with push-ups, might be uncomfortable for your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, your head, your knees, your low back, or even your toes. Let's go through some alternatives you can do instead. Start off with this one because it's probably the closest swap we can do, but if you can't do this, don't stress, there are other options. This is a way that we can regress the push-up, so if you struggle with holding your whole weight on the floor, this might be a great option for you. This might be especially helpful if your wrists don't like being bent back really far, because I'm holding onto the bar, I can keep a more neutral wrist position. Less stress on my toes, my low back feels more comfortable. The way to regress without having to rest on my knees. As you can see here, I can adjust the height of the bar in the Smith machine to make it more or less difficult. You can also do this from home using a couch, a table, a chair, whatever stable base you have to hold on to. Additionally, if your head and your neck don't like being in a really horizontal position, this more upright version might be a great option for you. And then if we want to make it more difficult, we can add in a band like I'm doing here. If you're training from home, this is a great way to progress push-ups, as long as you can do it without pain, clicking or clunking. Next up, we have the dumbbell bench press. This is probably my most commonly reached for chest pressing exercise. Over my years of training with my EDS, I've done way more of this than I have ever done of push-ups. Why is this one so great? Well, first of all, let's think wrists. The wrists are in a nice neutral position, not bent back really far. You can also add in wrist wraps if you need more support. If you watched closely, you might have seen what I just did here. I adjusted my hand position. As benefit number 2 of the dumbbell bench press, we can find the hand angle that feels best for our shoulders, wrists, and elbows. We can also adjust the line that we're moving along, which is not really possible with a push-up. Once our hands are locked on the ground, our shoulders and elbows kind of just have to do what they're told. This is obviously a lot less triggering for the feet and the low back, and if your neck doesn't like the push-up position, this one might be a great option. You can also start super light with this one and progress it to get quite strong on it. With the dumbbell bench press, we also have the options of different levels of incline. So if for whatever reason you don't like the feeling of a flat bench press, a horizontal bench press, we can do something on more of an incline as well. Now, if you like bench pressing free weights and you want to get really strong, this is an exercise that we can really progress the weights with. This is a barbell bench press. We have the option of doing a wider grip, a closer grip, a mid grip. I'm actually an ex-powerlifter, so this was my go-to pressing exercise for years. If you want more advice on bench press technique, I can give it, just let me know. If you like that movement, but you want something with a little bit less stability demand, we have a Smith machine bench press. This is the exercise I was doing my push-ups on before, and yes, you can actually use it to lift weights as well. Warning I would just give with this one is to make sure you're setting yourself up in the movement properly first before you start adding load and doing reps of it. This machine, the bar moves along a set line. If you set up in an awkward position, then add weight and do reps, it might not feel so good on your body. It's also worth noting that some Smith machines have a vertical line they travel along. Some are like this and the bar moves at an angle. Now, if you want to perform a chest press exercise, but for whatever reason you can't do it lying down, for example, if your head and your neck don't enjoy that, we can do a seated chest press. This is the version of the machine that I have at my gym. At your gym, you'll probably have a different one. Either way, it's a chest press machine. Again, just make sure that you're setting yourself up properly in this machine, that the seat is set to the right height, etc. Because if your joints are in an awkward position, you don't want to put them under load like that. Now, here's a little bonus tip if your wrists don't like push-ups or any of these other pressing exercises. You could try this exercise as a warm-up to see if it makes a difference. With hypermobility and strength training, when the wrists are really cocked back like this and then we put it under load, that's a common cause of wrist pain. So in the push-up, your wrists are in that position. If our wrist flexes are weak, then we may struggle to hold a neutral position during dumbbell bench press, etc. This exercise where our palms face our thighs works the wrist flexors and some of our hand muscles as well. You can also do it behind the back with a barbell. Just make sure you're curling into your palm, not away from your palm. That's how we work the wrist flexors. And we can do this one as a warm-up or as a separate strengthening exercise as well. You might also find something like this is helpful. It's just a grip strengthening ring that I got from Kmart. Wrist wraps can also be a great investment if you struggle with your wrists with training. Make sure it's wrist wraps, not lifting straps. They're different. There you go. As always, do not push through pain, clicking or clunking, and make sure you get clearance from a good doctor and rehab specialist before you do any of this training. I hope this helps. If it did, let me know. And if you want to see anything else, make sure you let me know in the comments.